So the other day, I came across this YouTube channel that is making $39,000 a month teaching people how to surf. But he's not making that from ads. He's making it by driving traffic from his videos to a paid community where he then teaches people how to surf, which I thought was, well, genius. And it made me think, could the average surfer make around $100 a day doing something similar to this with their own YouTube channel? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. So the channel that is making $39,000 a month is this. It's called Hydro Mind. And the business model he has is very simple. All he does is posts these videos, and then if you click on one of the videos and then go to the first link in the description, you'll see he's got a link to his school community, which we can see he has 5,800 members, and he charges $7 a month for it, which comes to around $39,000 a month. And like I said, the business model is very simple. He's got his YouTube channel, then he posts videos on it, his videos get views, and then in his videos he'll then promote his school community, and then a percentage of those viewers will then go and pay to join that community. But the key here is the type of content he's creating. It isn't like your vlogs or compilation videos, it's surf education. And if you want to build a business on YouTube around surfing, that's where the money is. So if this guy's making $1,300 a day with this channel that's only got 75,000 subscribers, well then surely we could earn at least a tenth of that. So let me break down exactly how I would do this if I was starting a surfing YouTube channel. Now, like I said before, the key is the type of surfing content you would be creating. And I believe the best route to go down is the surf education, because daily surf vlogs, yes, can be fun, but they're very difficult to monetize. So if you want to build a sustainable channel that brings in a good amount of income, I think combining educational content with that lifestyle content is the way to go. Because also there's so much content around surf education that you could be creating, such as surf tutorials or board breakdowns and reviews, or fitness training for surfers, or travel guides and surf spot reviews. And that's just a few off the top of my head. I'm sure there's so many other content ideas you could come up with for surf education. Now, like I said, the key is in the type of content you're creating, and I believe there's 3 different content categories you should have when choosing what video to make. And these 3 different content types are aimed at balancing your video type so you can build a loyal audience, a strong brand, and also a profitable business. Now, the first type of content I believe you should be creating is problem-solving content. These are your how-to videos that solve specific problems that the viewer may have. For example, if we look at surfing, it could be something like beginner surfing mistakes, or best surfboards for beginners, or something simple like how to pop up on your surfboard. Again, these are aimed at solving a specific problem that the viewer will have. And this is the content that will build the majority of your audience, because these are the videos that will probably be getting the most amount of views. And I believe that problem-solving content should take up around 50% of the content that you should be creating on your channel. The next type of content you should be creating is what I call unique perspective content. And this is the type of content that is going to separate you from every other creator in your space, because it's going to be based around your personal opinion on topics or your personal experiences. So for surfing, a video example could be something like the exact pop-up technique that transformed my surfing, or the harsh reality about learning to surf. These videos are very different from your problem-solving content because they are based on your own personal opinion and experiences. And I believe this should take up around 30% of the content you should be creating, because this is a type of content that may not pull in as many views as the problem-solving content, but is what will build a loyal audience and a strong brand. And then the third type of content you should be creating is what I call your premium content. This is your most specific and advanced content that naturally leads viewers to buying or working with you. For surfing, a video example could be I fixed my subscriber's surfing technique, or my simple 15-minute exercise to fixing your surf stance. These types of videos probably won't bring in as many views as your problem-solving content or your unique perspective content, but it's basically aimed at showing the viewer what working with you would look like. So yes, the videos may not get as many views, but they're probably going to be a lot better at converting viewers to buyers. And I believe this should take up around 20% of the content that you are creating. So how do we monetize the channel? Well, there are many different avenues you can go down to monetizing, such as a paid community like that channel we saw earlier with the school community, which you could charge maybe $20 to $50 a month for, or you got digital products, which could be something like ebooks or guides or mini video courses. For example, something like a surf progression blueprint, or a pop-up mastery video course, or an ebook on choosing your first surfboard. And then the third most common way to monetize would be something like merch, but the problem with that is it requires a much larger and more dedicated audience for it to be profitable. So I definitely would recommend that one the least. And I believe when you're just starting starting out, selling a digital product is the best way to start because it allows for testing many different ideas and scaling your income without needing massive audiences or a physical inventory like you would with merch. So how do we actually go about creating the digital product? Well, first off, what I want you to realize is that your product doesn't need to be super creative or revolutionary. It just needs to solve a specific problem that the viewer has. And you can find this problem by doing one of two things. You can either look within and ask what surfing challenges did you personally overcome, or what specific struggles have you figured out with surfing, or you can look around and have a look at what other successful creators in your niche are selling or teaching. And I believe looking around at what other creators are doing is one of the best things to do, because then you can also identify gaps and improve on areas where they're not doing so well. But what I want you to remember is that you don't need to be an expert to sell a digital product. All you need to be is 1 to 2 steps ahead of where your viewer is. So if you're a beginner surfer, but you do have experience in surfing, well, you can teach people that are just starting out with surfing something. And then if you're an intermediate surfer, you can be teaching beginners and intermediate surfers. If there was one thing I wanted you to take away from this video, it'd be that you only need to be 1 to 2 steps ahead of where your viewer is to be able to solve a problem of theirs. And remember, the more specific the problem you're solving, the easier it is to sell the solution, because people pay for clear results. They don't pay for vague promises. Now, if you're still stuck on what digital product you should be creating, I've actually gone ahead and created a whole AI prompt that will help you with this process of coming up with your digital product. And I'll put it on screen for you to read through right now if you want to pause the video, or I'll also leave a link in the description to get it as well. And then all you have to do is paste it into the AI software you want to use, which in this case, I'm going to be using ChatGPT. And as you can see here, I've pasted it in, and then all that's going to happen is that AI will ask you questions, so the digital product can be as specific to you as possible, and you just have to answer them. So as we can see here, it's asked 3 different questions: my expertise or skills, what topics do I have knowledge in that other people come to me for advice on, and my audience, who do I want to serve, and my problems or challenges, what specific frustrations or roadblocks does my audience face on a daily or weekly basis. And then I've just gone ahead and answered it based on if I was creating a digital product around surfing. So for the first question, I want to teach people to learn how to surf, and then I want to target beginners who are just starting out in surfing and want to progress faster. And then the different challenges they could have could be something like struggling to pop up on the board, or don't know how to read waves, or don't understand surf etiquette, don't understand the right surfboard for them, and so on. And you can just list as many as you want, and probably the more you put in the better, because it gives more options for the AI to come up with digital product ideas for you. And then here are the 5 digital product ideas that it's come up with, which I think work quite well. And to save me reading them all out, I'm just going to pop all 5 of them up on screen now. So if you want to pause the video and take down some ideas for digital products, you can do that right now. So again, like I said, I think this AI prompt is really useful. And if you want to try it out for yourself, the link will be in the description. And by the way, it's not specific to starting a surfing channel. So even if you're creating videos in a different niche, this AI prompt will still help you with coming up with digital product ideas. So let's quickly break down the maths of how we would earn $100 a day from this YouTube channel. Now, let's just say we have a 2% click-through rate on our product link, meaning 2% of people that watch the video go and click on that link in our description to view our product, and then 5% of those people actually go and buy the product. Well, that means that if you're selling the product at $10, we would need 300 sales to make $3,000 a month, which is obviously $100 a day, which means we would then need 15,000 clicks on that product, which means our channel would then need to be getting 300,000 views a month to keep this going consistently. And if you're selling the product at $20, that means we need 150,000 views per month on the channel. And if you're selling the product at $30, we would need 100,000 views per month on the channel, which isn't a huge amount at all. If we went back to that channel that I showed at the beginning of this video, that Hydro Mind, he's getting over 5 million views per month on his channel. We need less than 10% of that to be making our $100 a day. Here's the thing, if you don't have AdSense as your primary income from your channel, you don't need hundreds of thousands of subscribers or millions of subscribers to make a sustainable income. You could make this sort of money with 5 to 10,000 subscribers. So here's the system I want you to follow if you want to get to this $100 a day. First, you need to be focusing on consistent video creation, and I would recommend publishing at least 1 to 2 videos per week, because this is going to be your primary traffic driver to your product. Because If you're not making videos, you can't expect people to just randomly be finding your product. And then especially with surfing, I would definitely leverage YouTube Shorts because this helps with fast channel growth and discoverability. And from my experience, I've noticed that these surf shorts do really well. Again, that Hydro Mind, the majority of his views per month are coming from his YouTube Shorts. So all I would be doing for that is just making your long form videos and then maybe breaking down certain sections of that long form videos into YouTube Shorts. And then here's the most important step. In every video, you need to have a subtle call to action that encourages viewers to go and buy your product. Because like I said earlier, people aren't randomly going to be discovering your product. So just integrate soft call to actions in every video. For example, something like, if you want to improve your surfing faster, download my pop-up mastery course, which will be linked in the description below. It can be as simple as that. And then step 4, I want you to experiment and optimize. So test many different $10 to $30 digital products and see which ones resonate most with your audience and convert best. And then I want you to double down. Once you find what works, focus on creating more videos and products that drive the most traffic and sales. Just rinse and repeat this process. It's as simple as that. So, can you make $100 a day as a surfer on YouTube? Well, I think the answer is yes, but not from ads. It's from building an audience and offering something valuable. And then imagine when you could scale this to $300 a day or $1,000 a day when you then build something like a community on top of this or merch on top of this as well once your audience grows. This is how you turn something that's just a hobby into a business that sustains your lifestyle. So anyway, thank you for watching and well, I hope you found this useful. And if you'd like more breakdowns like this on different topics, well, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you'd like a video on next. I'll see you in the next one.